Why do you downgrade acting as a profession?
What?
I say, why do you downgrade acting as a profession over the years?
What makes you think I do?
Well, I've read it in the press. Saw it in black and white. I can't believe the press. I don't know what we can believe in this country. You know what I mean, though you've said over the years, well, it's not a fit profession for a man.
In an effort to help your ratings,
don't worry about it.
I'll maybe say something. I think that we couldn't survive a second if we weren't able to act. That acting is a survival mechanism, and it's a social unguent, and it's a lubricant. And we act to save our lives, actually, every day. People lie constantly, every day, by not saying something that they think, or saying something that they don't think, or showing something that they don't feel, or trying to give the appearance of feeling something that they don't actually. I said that, didn't I?
Yeah, but that's not acting.
That is acting. That is
no,
precise.
It isn't.
Yes, it is.
But you know what I mean.
When you're frightened or when you're nervous,
huh?
When you're frightened or nervous in this chair, you're distressed or uncomfortable, or you're very angry.
Yeah.
And you know that that is not what is necessary to well, what cannot be shown here. You control your face. You're a highly controlled person. And
really?
And you have to do that.
I see. But you know what I mean is, we got into this on the phone. You say that that's acting. That's not. I'm motivated at that moment to do that, and I can do it. And suppose there's a guy here that I think is a schmuck, is a bore, and you invite frankness, and I can act like he's interested for a time. I'm motivated by that. But if you wake me up at 9 or 8 the following morning and say, do that same performance before a camera and then do it again and again, I can't. Some people can. Some people do it wonderfully, and you seem to do it better than almost anybody. And so there've got to be gradations of excellence. I won't hear of the fact that what you do is no more than what I do.
Well, that isn't true. If you're working for an ad agency, some product, and you hate the guy that, the idea man, the boss, and you know that every time he comes in with some impossible notion, something that really makes you gag when you drive home on the freeway, you know damn well that you're not going to get a raise, or you're not going to get it shifted out of the position that you're in if you don't say, Leonard, I think that's terrific. Yeah. It's just beautiful. And you even lean forward, put your elbows on to show enthusiasm, and you get a face for it, and you do it day after day after day in order to survive in your job.
But if you had to do the line, Leonard, I think that's terrific 6 times, and get something deeper and better into it time after time, that takes an actor.
What did you say?
I said, those are one-time things where you have an immediate motivation.
No, they're not one-time things, because it's a daily procedure.
Yeah, but the dialogue changes all the time. But you're able to
take it. The dialogue changes, but the motivation doesn't.
Are you saying that I could play any role you can play as well as you can?
Well, that might not be true, but I don't think that I could play some roles as well as you could play them. I don't think I could play the role that you're playing now.
But this is me. I'm letting it all hang out.
No, it's not me.
It isn't? This ain't me?
I mean, I think that you're thinking of 60 things at once. How is it going? Is it getting dull? Is he upset and distressed and inarticulate? Is he bored? Is he offended? Yeah, here's a good time for a joke. We haven't got much time. You're thinking about 9 million things and reacting to what I say, and how's that going to be? Is that going to be offensive? No, that's good. So you're doing this this editing at an insane rate. And I mean, and you have to do that, and that's your job. And you have this demeanor of levity and lightness and amusement and zest, and it's easy to ascertain that that finally isn't what goes on in your mind or your feelings at all.
I just feel like all my clothes have been taken off.
No, but that's something that I couldn't do. I couldn't do what you do. And that's a different kind of acting. You're playing a different kind of role. But anyway, we've done enough. We've made enough concessions.
I feel like a kid who's look, what is it?
Stevie Wonder gave me this on the airplane today, and it was very nice. He took it off his wrist and said, "I want you to have this." And it was very, very nice of him, very kind of him.
Let me ask you something. Or several. I was going to say I feel like a kid in a candy store because we can only take about 2 pieces out of all the things I want to talk to you and ask you about. I'm interested in so damn many things about you. Were you happy with the way The Godfather came out?
I'd rather not talk about movies. I don't think they're...
That's all right. Okay.
If we could figure out some way...
Did you like the book, The Godfather?
Well, we have so little time to talk about Indians, and there's so much to say about them that I think to talk about movies and stuff like that is such a misuse of time. But then I'm your guest, and I don't want to horn in on what your program's going to be about.
I wouldn't want you to. Okay, I'll talk about something. It bugs me that you, over the years, have acted so little. And it seems like there must be about 14 great plays and great films that you ought to do and ought to make. And I worry that this feeling that that acting is not a noble profession for a man maybe is what's kept you from it. I can now move on to something else if you like, but does that observation bug you at all?
No.
Is it none of my business? Are there roles you wish you'd played? Do you crave acting?
No. It's been a good living.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were in the lumber business and you went on the Dick Cavett show and somebody said, "Well, how do you like the lumber business, Ralph?" It is a business. It's no more than that. And those who pretend that it's an art, I think, are misguided. And acting is a craft, and it's a profession not unlike being an electrician, plumbing, or an economist. It's a way of getting on and providing food and shelter for yourself and family.
May I ask you one thing here? You've referred a couple times to things you did to make up for certain things you had done in the past. This is an interview with Truman Capote. And you referred to The Wild One as one of the things you want to make up for.
We're back at Space One. And I don't think that it's useful to refer to, confirm or deny anything that was written in the press. It's mostly money-oriented, and therefore I don't think it has any value.
Okay. Tell me then, when, way back in the 50s, when you were interested in the Indians' fishing rights, before it was fashionable to be so, what triggered that?
I read a book called Indians of the Americas, and I, after reading the book, realized that I knew nothing about the American Indian, and that everything that we are taught about the American Indian is wrong. It's inaccurate. And our school books are hopelessly lacking, perhaps criminally lacking, in revealing what our relationship was with the Indian. When we hear, as we've heard throughout all our lives, no matter how old we are, that we are a country that stands for freedom, for rightness, for justice, for everyone. It simply doesn't apply to those who are not white. It just simply doesn't apply. And we were the most rapacious, aggressive, destructive, torturing, monstrous people who swept from one coast to the other, murdering and causing mayhem among the Indians. There's one Indian in the... But that isn't revealed, because we don't like that image of ourselves. We don't like to see us. We like to see ourselves as perhaps John Wayne sees us. And and also what we've learned about the Indians has been largely taught to us by Hollywood and by motion pictures. They have educated us. So we naturally believe that when the Indians came, that the wagons circled and the Indians rode around and subjected themselves to terrible fire and died at a ratio of 65 to 1.
Both barrels of a shotgun would always get 2 Indians.
Yeah, and that wasn't the way it was at all. But anyway, Indians have been tragically misrepresented in films and in our history books, in our attitudes, in our reporting. And so we must set about to re-educate ourselves. Who are you looking at?
You.
Oh.
Oh, no, there's a message coming, but...
Oh, okay.
No, one thing I wanted to get into on that, too, was the subject of not only how the Indians treated on the screen, but off the screen. I know a guy who was in it.
Let me say another thing. At a time when we say, especially, that we are going to keep our treaties, and that we do keep our word, and that we, above all people, do keep our word, I think it's important to mention that there have been nearly 400 treaties written by the United States in good faith with the Indians, and every single one of them was abrogated. Means broken or changed or altered.
No exceptions. And the Indians howl when, with laughter, I guess, when they hear a public figure like a president saying other nations will laugh at us if we don't honor our treaty commitments.
Oh, yeah.
When they can think of 400 and, I don't know what the exact figure is, 31 examples of how we haven't in the past, and this would only be the 432nd case of it if we didn't. But I do go on. I remember some years ago I read a piece by James Wexler, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was. And he said that I don't think there's anybody who's as concerned, or a few people that I've met care so much about the quest for human dignity, something like this that we're involved in right now. That was referring to the civil rights movement. Did you ever meet Rosa Parks, or something, the name of the lady who...
No, I never did.
Who refused to give her seat to a white man on a bus in, was it Atlanta? And it kind of kicked off the whole bus protest.
Birmingham.
Was it in Birmingham that it happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing you then in Washington. And have you found that anything effective comes from these things?
Well, I think they say that it's the squeaky hinge that gets the grease, and the blacks would still be shuffling around picking peanuts and dying and starving. Of course, they haven't been all that much improved. If they hadn't made that noise, if they hadn't made that racket, somewhere there's some person out there that tells us, just be quiet, be calm, everything will right itself, and everybody will get their just desserts, but it never happens.
It'll all come out, right?
It never happens. People, if they just sit back and wait for white America to do something on their behalf, to recognize their rights as a people, to recognize the sovereign rights of, well, say Indians, as a separate people, as a separate political, cultural entity within the confines of the United States, nothing's going to happen. The Indians have to shuffle.